Coming up on Theater Talk.
Members of the first time you began to attract attention to yourself as being a lovable lunatic?
The day I got off the Detroiter.
What was the Detroit?
I felt very important in Grand Central Station.
Why did you leave Detroit? Why did you leave Michigan?
The ceilings weren't high enough.
Theater Talk is made possible in part by the CUNY TV Foundation. From New York City, this is Theater Talk. I'm producer Susan Haskins.
And I'm Michael Riedel of the New York Post. And Susan, I regret to say that New York is losing one of its landmarks. We shouldn't.
There we go.
What? What?
That's it.
I don't
I'm
mean,
not going anyplace.
I don't mean the Empire State Building. I don't mean the Statue of Liberty. I mean the great Elaine Stritch, who is leaving New York to go back to where she came from. Well, I was going to say Michigan, but the way you're dressed, Elaine, it looks like you're going to retire to Alaska. What's going on over there?
It's freezing in this studio. Absolutely freezing.
Do you want to leave the coat on?
No, do you want me to end up with Barbara Walters?
In Alaska.
Oh, yeah. Well, with chicken pox, I say Alaska. Without chicken pox, I'll stay at the car lot.
Okay.
Okay?
But Elaine, after all of these years of being one of the great performers in New York,
Right.
you have
On and off.
I don't know. You've announced that you're going to move to Michigan. Where
I'm going home.
Why? Why?
Because I came to New York. Nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. And I gave it a 65-year-old shot. I think that's fair enough. I am so tired of this city.
Really?
And
But this
the
city's-
costumes, the scenery, the makeup, the props, the cabs, the noise.
Are you taking your friends?
Push,
Are you taking your
shove.
friends who you brought here with you to Michigan? Are you
Pardon
guys?
me? No, the reason I brought Hunter and Rob with
Rob
me.
Bowman, who's been
Rob-
your accompanist for
Yes.
many years,
Been my accompanist for many, many
and
years.
Hunter Ryan Herdlicka. Is that I get?
Yeah,
that
that's
right?
right.
Herdlicka.
Who was in?
There's no R on the end.
I don't give a
Who was in A Night Music with you?
A little night music with you, yeah.
Oh, was he
Yeah.
ever?
Oh,
Was
yeah.
he ever? My new best friend.
Yeah.
No, I'm.
So long, Rob.
Bye-bye. You're done. I was in that one too.
Are you guys gonna? Are you
I'm
gonna
about ready to talk about you, but you can't wait. You just can't wait.
well, you brought them today because, but you're not taking them with you to Michigan.
No, they'll be there to visit me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. First of all, I love spending time with people that are younger than I am because I really feel seriously about it. I'm not going to ask you how you feel about it.
I love children.
Oh.
That's why I work with Michael.
We can't forget the children, those little faces looking up at me.
Oh my God, my blood just chilled.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's the only show I've ever done with my gloves on. This is a cold studio. But you know what I'm going to do?
Oh no!
Oh, zip.
As only I can do it. Zip.
Zip.
Yeah.
Walter
Whitman wasn't brilliant today.
Okay.
Last finger didn't
Bop.
work.
Take
And
two.
by the way, I'm gay.
We should only say that Elaine has a song that she's writing called. She's going to put into her next act, and her title is "By the Way I'm Gay." Because you
Yes,
think
and
that
it's the
And
tag and it's the title.
It's the
and
tag.
by the way, a new song by Elaine Stritch, and by the way, I'm gay. I think it's a great farewell to New York song. You turn back on one of those old trains, you know, you're on the back, and then you go, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, boom, and you look off like an old, what's that show where the woman got shot at the station?
Anna Karenina.
Yeah.
That old
She
thing.
gets
And
shot, she
Anna
threw herself
Karenina
out of
looks
the train.
back and says, and by the way, I'm gay.
And Elaine, not to bring up old business, but you were a regular on 30 Rock, quite fabulous, and then they killed you off and said, and by the way, you were gay. They made your character gay.
Oh, that's
after
right. They
you were
should have
dead,
said
you
that.
know?
Well, they couldn't do any worse to me. I mean, you know what Tina Fey said?
What?
She is hysterical. She is one of the brilliant comedians of my age. Well, not my age, sorry. No, but do you know how old I'll be tomorrow?
For your birthday tomorrow, yeah.
My birthday is tomorrow.
Yeah, how
No,
old?
please hold
Hold the
ice
applause.
cold applause.
How old will you be?
88.
Wow. You don't look it, darling.
106 trombones. I can't believe it. Can you believe it?
You're
Say it that you can't believe
No.
it.
So what
Tina,
did- yeah.
Tina said this. She called up and she said, I want to be interviewed for Elaine's documentary because I'm having a documentary done that Chem is doing.
It's going to be at the Tribeca Film Festival.
Yeah, they're going to show it at the film festival, and so I'm very pleased about that.
But I still want to know what Tina said.
Oh, so Tina comes on to do an interview, and we all know how funny Tina Fey is. I don't have to tell anybody that. But here's what she said when Chem said to her, how was it? And she's going to ask about Elaine. Oh! And she goes like, oh, here she comes. You know, all this thing about me being so frightening and everything. She said, but I'll tell you something I forgot to tell you, Chem. We've had 7 years on this series, and we are just about finished paying for Elaine's fur bill at Saks.
Well, that's why you wanted. That's why you wanted the coat on the show tonight.
Yes.
Tell us about Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin.
And by the way,
No, wrong. I'll vouch for that.
whoa,
You're off the gay scale,
Alec.
Alec. Got your name there for a minute.
But didn't Alec call you up and check up on you at one point because you had an accident here? You fell and hurt your eye. And,
Yeah, I got a basket. You know those kind of baskets you get sometimes from rich actors or rich anybody?
Tony
I got-
Award.
Well, yeah. It's like a Tony Award. It's a basket full of goodies that nobody wants. I mean, if you ever had the maid at a hotel say no. I mean, you know, it made me get sick to worry.
Who sent that to you, Alec, when you fell?
Now, the basket that he sent me, I got this out of the basket and I said, oh, this is, I can't think of what the name was. It had caviar at the end of it. Pineapple Supreme Scooby-Doo. Caviar. With inside pears, lumped. I've never read anything like the billing that got in this, you know? And I said, Helena, would you like to take that home tonight? And she said no. And it was the best reading I've ever heard. It was just no. And like she was so wise to me.
Thank you for the basket,
Yeah,
Alec.
and then I called Alex and said, oh, it's great. Just what I wanted.
Now you have a card that you were playing around.
Oh, yes.
What you want to
This
tell us
is
about that?
Sheila Nevins. You
Yeah.
remember I showed you this?
Yeah.
On the, I got this on a card, needless to say, but I tore it off. Let me see if I can read it. I can't.
You want to read it for her, Hunter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elaine, happy birthday.
This is my birthday card.
Oh, from Sheila
From
Nevins.
Sheila Nevins.
That's why it says happy birthday. Do not be
Don't get
depressed.
smart
Elaine, happy birthday.
and get your hand off my knee.
Do not be depressed about something that happened so long, long ago. P.S. This present is too cheap to return. I'm learning.
Isn't that a joyful thing?
What was it that happened so long ago that you would be?
My birthday. By the way,
I'm gay.
oh, we're going to get hell for this show. Well, you wanted to call Steve Sondheim.
Elaine wanted to come on with friends. I said, why don't you call Steve and have
I don't
Steve
want
on?
to come on with. I don't want to spend another night, day, morning of my life scared to death in this city, and that's what I'd be if I had to be interviewed by Steve Sondheim.
Is he intimidating as a personality, or is it just the talent? Because
I think it's
He's
everything.
very
It's-
quiet and.
I think it's everything. No, I don't think he's quiet. I'll tell you what I do think he is. Extremely attractive. And also, I think he's one of the funniest human beings I know. And also, I could go on singing. Like, ah.
Read what he sent you.
Oh, he sent me this opening night at the Carlisle. I want Michael to read it because I can't read it.
I can't read it either, Elaine. That's the problem.
That's great.
Telegram. Ms. Elaine Stritch, the Carlisle Hotel, New York, New York. Good luck. I won't be there, so feel free to make up your own lyrics.
And by the way,
You do! Now, I got to ask, I want to bring Rob in here, because Rob has been your accompanist for a long, long time. And it's no secret that sometimes you have those little areas of your mind where the lyrics have
forget
gone.
the lyrics.
Yeah, you
Say
forget
it.
the
Say it. Annette Fabre survived it.
Yeah.
Say it.
You forget the lyrics. And what is that like, Rob? Because you're there. I mean, it's just you and Elaine.
Yeah,
out
he's there knowing them.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he's got them in front of him.
Whoa.
See?
So what do you do, Rob? Do you jump in right away, or do you let her?
No, it's I don't know. I just kind of feel it out with Elaine, and we kind of see what's going to happen. And I can a lot of times I can tell that Elaine is still searching, and I don't want to step in on that.
Yeah, because the ad libs sometimes
Are
Funnier than the
Yeah.
lyrics.
That's part of Michael's
mine's like, by the way, I'm gay. They always get laughed. And I wrote those myself.
That's right. But also, it becomes this kind of sort of white knuckle moment in the show when Elaine sometimes you'll say, "Don't help me," and it's silence in the
She
house.
said that to Bernadette one night in the show.
Oh,
A little night. Do you remember this?
Go ahead.
She was in the wheelchair, end of Act 1, and she went up on a line, and she just kind of sat there, and Bernadette started to help her. And she said about the weekend, and she said, "No, don't you tell me what I'm supposed to say." And the audience just loved. I mean, they went
great.
wild.
It was great.
They sat there for 2 minutes, just ad-libbing and ad-libbing and ad-libbing, and finally Elaine said, "I give up," and Fred wheeled her off, and then they burst into applause. It was the best moment we ever had in a Little Night Music. When you forgot, and you told Bernadette Peters not to help you.
Yeah.
That was the best.
Oh, I'll tell Bernadette Peters anything I want to. I mean, and that was exactly the relationship we had as mother and daughter in A Little Night Music.
And that would be the perfect thing to see on the stage.
You really, you must love New York. You've been here.
I
60
do love New York. Nobody said I didn't love New York.
And you're just tired of show
It's a
business
nice
more than
visit,
New York?
though, don't you? It's 65 years.
Right. What is it back in Michigan that you want to go back to?
There's a very good restaurant on.
May not be there anymore, Elaine.
No, I think it's closed. But I have fond memories of it.
Yeah.
I want to go because my family's there.
Yeah.
Number one, all my two sisters. There's 3 girls in my family.
Yeah.
And they're all gone. Not me. I'm the baby, so I deserve. I'm going to live the longest of all 3. All the kids that they created magnificently, well done. Bravo, Georgine. Bravo, Sally.
You bet.
What they did, these guys know my family.
Your nieces and nephews. Then.
My nieces and nephews, and they're dynamite.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And so, in memory of them,
You're going to go back. Now, you know her well. Do you think the nieces and nephews, I'm sure they love you dearly, but they might be a little intimidated that you're crashing
no,
into
because
their
that's why
lives?
I
I know I might be.
No, you bring back an important thing, Michael, because I never knew how my family felt about me, and I always wanted them to love me. Naturally, we all do. But I didn't feel that I was on top with my family. So I went into the theater, and boy, was I on top suddenly. You know, I think a lot of kids come to New York to become movie stars, well, not movie stars, but theater, Broadway, boom, boom. And then their families start to say, my mother came backstage when she saw me off Broadway in The Little Foxes about 150 years ago, and she had a look on her face like, oh my God. And Mother was funny. Oh my God, I didn't lick it off the ground. She said, Laney, you can do this. And it was like, surprise, surprise. And it was one of the happiest moments of my life. But how did I get her? I got through her through Lillian Hellman.
Something else you told me that your mother said, which showed a sense of humor worthy of Samuel Beckett. That when you went to tell her that one of your sisters...
One of my sisters was pregnant again.
Yeah.
She said, oh, really? She had the Detroit News in her hands, and she had a a bourbon old-fashioned on her table, we were in the library. And I said, Georgie's going to have another baby. And she said, she turned the, you have to do this with the prop. Oh, really? And then she went like that with the Daily News and said, another trip to death's door.
But let me ask you though, then specifically, what was the Elaine Stritch family life like? Your mother and your father and the
Great.
2 sisters?
To all intents and purposes, it was great.
Yeah. And did your parents both have the sense of humor that you were
Oh my
justly
God!
famous
Yeah.
for?
Oh, yeah.
Your dad.
My dad was was one of the funniest men in the world. He was just great.
And he was a big auto executive, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And your uncle was the cardinal or
Of Chicago.
of Chicago.
Yeah.
So you were not struggling, poor, struggling Midwestern
Well,
family.
Daddy
You
and
were-
Mother were started out, you know, counting pennies and dimes and nickels, and we, you know, I was born in the Depression. 1925, I was born.
Wow.
88. I'd love to say FUCK, but I'm not going to. Years ago.
Remember the first time you began to attract attention to yourself as being a lovable lunatic?
The day I got off the Detroiter,
What was the Detroit?
I felt very important in Grand Central Station. It was almost like I stepped off and said,
I'm here.
God knows at least, you know,
Why did you leave? Why did you leave Detroit? Why did you leave Michigan?
the ceilings weren't high enough.
No, did you have the drive and the desire to come to New York all that time?
I was thinking about it at sort of 5-ish.
Really? Really?
Yeah, I really was. And when they took me to the Cass Theater or the Fisher Theater, and I saw movies, plays, I was hooked. Absolutely hooked. I knew what parts I wanted to go for when I got here. None of that was, you know, I ended up singing Bongo, Bongo, Bongo. I don't want
Oh, that was a great moment, Bongo Bongo.
Oh,
But
yeah.
now, speaking of your early parts, tell us about this picture
You have a fabulous picture here, too.
of you as a young performer.
Oh! Didn't I tell you about it?
No, you got to tell us about
Well, this is a picture that somebody sent me not long ago, and I laughed for half an hour.
Yep.
In oh God, I don't know, 40-something.
Make it up.
Yeah, make it up. I did the opening at Westport Country Theater.
Yeah. Country Playhouse, I think.
Country Playhouse, sorry, you're absolutely right. And it was the juvenile, hello? I think it's the only one I ever played.
You were in Dracula.
Not just Dracula. It was Bela Lugosi, the original Dracula in with Elaine Stritch. I think I got that kind of billing, which was fine. And I drank with Bela Lugosi,
Wow.
which was much
you
more
drank
fun
with Bela
than the
Lugosi?
play.
All right, what was drinking with Bela Lugosi like?
Well, I remember I was with him one night when he ordered his 17th scotch, and they said, Mr. Lugosi, you've had your last scotch in this, you know, whatever it was. And they wouldn't, and he got up and took the, you know that trick with the tablecloth?
Oh, yeah.
And everything stays on the table?
Yeah.
And he says, thank you. I will go someone else. I will go somewhere else for my liquor. Come on, Ellen. Wonder why I got in trouble.
Did the trick work, though? He pulled the tablecloth off?
Yeah, it worked. For anything he did worked.
Wow, amazing.
Scared the hell out of the audience at Westport, those sophisticated people in Connecticut, you know?
What's that expression? Show us that picture again. I love that expression on your face. How, in your acting toolkit, what expression? How would you describe that expression?
Fear.
Yeah.
Then I learned how to realize that Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf was more fearful than
Dracula.
Bela Lugosi.
Yeah.
This was a nice man. Oh, you want to hear a classic line he said to me over a few drinks? He said, you know, I don't tell this to many people, Elaine. But I want you to know that if it hadn't been for Boris Karloff, I would have had a corner on the horror market. Is this the best?
Now, you're leaving us, but you promise you're going to come back to New York, right? I mean, you will continue to be performing. We will.
Well, sure, if the part's good.
You'll be back. I mean, you're still available.
As long as it has a wheelchair in it. I'm game. I'm game.
Before we go, we got an email from our friend Albert Poland, and he said,
producer Albert Poland.
Producer Albert Poland. He said to please ask Elaine about Judy Garland.
Oh, the great line that she said to me that I told in my show. This is a favorite of yours.
Right there, Elaine Stritch at Liberty.
Oh,
Yeah. This is so nice to have. I brought my friends, and now it's all
She brought props, you guys.
No, but I didn't mean it to be that way.
All
but
about you.
All about you.
She brought her pictures.
But listen, you've got an awful lot of years ahead of you, so don't get smart. And anybody says, tell them about Julie, this is the first thing I say. She was a great woman. She was, the talent is just, forget about it. Just forget about it. When I had her stay up and we were playing poker well into the morning, it was 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was her closing night at the
Palace?
Yeah, at the Palace, and she's sitting in a red dress. She's sitting on the floor at some Pierre, I think we were in the Pierre Hotel. Somebody gave a party for her, and we're the last to leave, and always. And so finally, I said another thing, another drink. I'm ready to go on, and she says no, and she gets up. And I followed her, and I got up, and she put her hand out to me, and she said, Elaine, I never thought I'd say this, but good night. And I thought it was one of the best things, one of the most terrific, adorable things that anybody's ever said to me.
But we're not going to say goodnight. We're not even going to say goodbye. We're going to say, have a great time in Michigan. We'll see you when you're back in New York, and we might even pop out there.
Come
and
visit,
with
but
you.
before we go,
We got to have a little bonus for you.
Yeah,
It's your
you're-
birthday.
you're kidding.
Rob, can you sort of lead us in a little?
Oh, let's do it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Elaine. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
blow out your candles, Laura.
Yeah. What's that from? Here we go. It's being revived.
Glass Menagerie, yes.
Menagerie with what wonderful actress?
Lorette Taylor.
No, Cherry Jones.
Cherry Jones,
oh,
of course.
wonderful.
Yeah, I want to go to that opening.
So you gotta come back.
If you blow that candle out well, they might let you play Laura.
I don't think so.
In a wheelchair.
Well, the only reason I say that is I did a reading of it about 2 years ago.
I did it
and
with
the
you.
Director said, don't stand up. I thought, this is the last reading I'm doing for you.
You blew your candle out with a laugh.
Oh, that's great. I'm never going to forget this moment. I can't tell you how much I love you. And it doesn't show towards Michael, but it's there. He's the one that's worried about the age. I'm not.
Oh, no. Hey, who came to visit you in the Carlisle? the other
That's
day?
true.
I was
but
there.
You never got beyond the first floor. I'll tell you that.
Wow.
You were a cafe suitor.
That's right. I'm angling for the guest room, at least, in Birmingham.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, we're going to miss you, Elaine, but anytime you're in New York, you just give us a call and you're welcome.
Okay, and the next time I come, I think I'll have guts to be interviewed on the show by Stephen Sondheim.
Oh, my God.
Because I'm crazy about him.
All right, well, he can bring his entourage as you brought your entourage.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Fun. So, all right, Rob Bowman, great to see you on Theater Talk. Thank you very much. Young, talented actor Hunter Ryan Herdlicka, thank you very
You'll
much.
be
for
playing
joining
in
us.
Austin very soon and back in New York.
Yeah, I
very
did
soon after
Austin
that.
last week, and I'm doing a show March 25th at 54 Below.
And I'm sure you soon both will be working out in Birmingham, Michigan at the Elaine Stritch Playhouse. Yes.
We've been talking about it already. We've got it set up.
You bet.
Oh, my God. There's a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
I like. We've got Elaine Stritch and Hunter Ryan Herdlicka in A.R. Gurney's Love Letters at the Elaine
I
Stritch
think it's-
Playhouse.
There you go.
You thought of a name of a
Yeah.
play the other day. I can't remember what it was.
What's the one in the wheelchair with that she's in a wheelchair and
Man Who Came to Dinner.
No.
When Nathan Lane played it.
No,
they
it's
could
the
do her
scary one. It's the scary
Oh,
one.
yes.
Roz Russell did the movie.
Oh, she's got the in the hat box.
That in the hat box.
Wait Until Dark.
No. God damn
thought
it.
it was
What is that?
Come on, you
the wheel-
gotta
oh,
tell me what it
Kind Lady.
No. It's the murderer that's chopping people's heads off, and he's
Wait until dark.
Wait until dark. And the head is in the hat box.
no, the head is not in the hat box.
It isn't Wait Until Dark, darling.
You know, it isn't in the play I saw that night.
It was in the oven.
What is that play? It was just revived on Broadway with the guy that's in Nice Work.
Yes,
If
it
you-
was Wait Until
Wait
Dark,
until
darling.
dark.
It was not Wait Until Dark. I'm sorry, but it was.
All right.
Frederick, no, wait.
And it's that really good playwright that wrote it,
Frederick Knott.
the Welsh guy.
Yes.
Yes.
I know who you mean. And he used to do a one-man show.
Because he wrote The Corn is Green.
The Corn is Green.
Yep.
And it's Wait Until Dark.
No, it isn't.
I know. No, she's 100% right. We've got it wrong. It's called Night Must Fall.
Yes!
That's right. I knew it. I knew it.
Oh,
You better take me with you.
Wow.
right.
You bet.
You can't take you with me. You just can't.
Elaine, goodbye. We'll see you soon.
Absolutely. That's a promise.
Our thanks to the Friends of Theater Talk for their significant contribution to this production. Theater Talk is made possible in part by the Frederick Lowe Foundation, the Eleanor Naylor Dana Charitable Trust, the Corey and Bob Donnelly Charitable Fund, the Noel Coward Foundation, Carrie J. Fries, the Dorothy Strelson Foundation, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, and the New York State Council on the Arts, a state agency.
We welcome your questions or comments for Theater Talk. Thank you and good night.